So we're going to talk about job development, job creation. I'm going to let each of the panelists just speak and explain what they've been working on and what their background is, and describe that. And then I'm going to throw out some questions, and we'll have some questions also from anyone that would like to as well. So we'll just start with you. Just introduce yourself, and then we'll pass it around and start some questions.
Good morning. Roger Clayman with Long Island Federation of Labor. And job development is something we work on all the time. It's our preoccupation. Just a quick breakdown, right? Yeah, so we want to talk about some legislative issues that are important to us, and we'll also talk about a pre-apprenticeship program we've developed to try to bring young folks into the construction trades.
I'm Paul Trapani with ListNet. So ListNet is Long Island Software Technology Network. In a nutshell, we are basically a chamber of commerce for the tech industry on Long Island. Not just technology companies, but people that work in technology in various other companies. The organization's been around for 20 years. I graduated college in 1994 and came to Long Island and heard a lot of things about how Long Island was washed up. And at the time, ListNet was one organization saying, that's not true. We could, adapt technology and we can become known for it. So part of our thing is to get a positive message out there about Long Island. When I started my first company in 2005, ListNet had a mentoring program that I was part of, and that helped me become successful. Now I have the ability to mentor some other young people that are coming up and help them succeed as well. And essentially what we try to do is connect the existing businesses on Long Island with each other, with government, and with academia to come up with solutions to the issues facing Long Island. We recently partnered with Nassau County on two big events. One was a tech job fair. We had over 1,000 people attend. The other was Long Island Tech Day. We had 125 tech companies attend. We had 2,000 people attend. There were job seekers. There were companies demonstrating what they have. We really like the idea of taking what we have and making it better.
Thank you, Joe. My name is Scott Martella. I am the Governor's Long Island Director for the New York State Department of Labor. I've been working with the Governor for over 4 years now in public service in a couple different roles. It's very exciting to work with the Department of Labor. We have a host of programs whose specific mission is to make sure that we are employing as many of our residents in New York State as possible. And we have a lot of ways of doing that, whether it be increasing educational attainment through some of our training programs, giving people the skill sets necessary to seek gainful employment, or whether it be some of our programs aimed at decreasing welfare dependency by helping people increase their earning potential. We really have a variety of programs, a very robust set of programs aimed at creating jobs, retaining jobs, and improving the quality of life for countless New Yorkers. So I will not only talk about that, I'll talk about some of our job market information, some of the data that comes out of our Bureau for Labor Statistics will give us a sense of where we've been and where we're headed for the next few years.
I'm James Bonner with the New York and Atlantic Railway. We are the freight railroad on Long Island. Most people aren't aware that we're here, so I appreciate the opportunity to sit. We handle the equivalent of about 120,000 truckloads a year via rail. We provide a benefit to Long Island for that reason, but I'm also interested in job development personally because we need to attract and develop the best talent that we can, but we also support a number of segments that require rail service, the construction industry that Roger mentioned being one of those. So for that reason, I'm very vested in the job development. And like Paul said, I'm a Long Islander, so I'm committed to right now, right? You can probably tell that I'm not originally a Long Islander, but I consider myself one now. I invested in the growth of this area. Invested in the continued growth of our population. I'm very excited about what's happening in Long Island.
All right, I'm going to start with just some facts, and then Scott, you can call BS if these are incorrect, because I got them off the Department of Labor website. So.
And it's all true.
Okay, good. You can correct me. Number of private sector jobs on Long Island increased over the year by 26,100, or about 2.4% on Long Island. So in New York State, it was 2.2, and then for the nation's average is 2.2.
too. So for this reading this, we're higher than what's happening in the state out here in Long Island, and then also from the nation's standpoint. So I guess we really don't need to have this discussion. We can all go eat lunch now because we're doing better than the nation is doing. But I don't think that Eric would like us to stop there. Just some numbers that were pretty good in different industries. Education and health services up about 11,000 jobs. This is from year over year through October. Natural resources, construction up about 7,500 jobs. Professional and business services up about 4,600. And leisure and hospitality up about 3,000. And the only one that was a little stagnant, it looked like retail, but there could be numerous reasons for that. So starting off with some of those facts and then going into some of the programs that we're speaking about, maybe you can just see where we are actually in some of the programs that we have going on.
So yes, I think during the height of the recession, just to speak about where we are today compared to where we were in the very recent past. In 2009, which was the height of unemployment for the state of New York. New York's unemployment was at 9%. Today, the state's unemployment is at 4.8%. So you can see that that is a precipitous drop. And that means that those numbers are very real. So they're individuals who are on long-term unemployment who are now considered employed in this economy. And this isn't, a lot of people say, well, those figures don't necessarily capture the amount of people who have left the job market. On Long Island, we actually have the highest labor participation rate at close to 70%. So we're doing fairly well in that regard. Long Island's unemployment is at 4.5%, and our year over year, that was a 0.3% decrease. New York State year over year decrease in unemployment was 1%. So we're still making considerable gains, especially in private sector job growth. We're seeing, where we're seeing in specific sectors that we're seeing declines in employment. Government, for one, we're seeing decreases in government jobs. We're also seeing decreases in manufacturing. But to err on the side of optimism, the decreases that we're seeing in manufacturing over the last 5 years are very, very, very small. In the last 15 years on a whole, it's been a precipitous drop. But over the last 5 years, the decline in manufacturing jobs has shrunk a great deal. So that is heartening news and certainly encouraging because it means that manufacturing as a whole is starting to make some gains. Oh, yeah, okay, I just don't want to take all the time. So I think the big program, one of the things I want to leave everyone here today is that we have personnel hired by the Department of Labor, both business service representatives and labor service representatives, who work here on Long Island in our one-stop career centers. And their job, they are dedicated towards matching people who are unemployed or seeking gainful employment with businesses that have vacancies, businesses that have job postings out there or looking to fill positions. And we deal with both employers and prospective employees. So if you are an individual who owns a business or you know somebody who owns a business who is looking to hire, but they can't find somebody who has the skill set to fit that role, you can call the Department of Labor, and I'll make sure that you all have my card at the end of this. You can call me and I'll make sure to connect you with the right person. You can call the Department of Labor and a business service representative will help you navigate our New York State Jobs Bank to specifically find people that have that skill set and help you conduct interviews with those individuals. If you're a person who's looking for work and you call our labor service representative, they'll sit down with you and do a desk interview. They'll get your resume, and we also have resume building workshops, so they'll help you refine your resume. And they will have you look at this portal. We guarantee that you'll leave with at least one job referral, but they will create that match for you. They will create the linkages between these prospective employees and employers looking to hire. So it's a very successful service that we offer. We also have Web 2.0 tools for people to do this in a self-paced environment. And it's definitely a service that has worked and one that should be utilized by people across all industries.
So it's like Monster on steroids.
It's like Indeed.com on steroids.
Okay. So one of the other hardest working groups that we have is the unions. They work harder than anybody to try to get as many construction jobs going. Every time they hear about a job, they are working tirelessly to try to get it to become either from a non-union job to a union job or make agreements and so forth. So Roger and I were talking earlier about some of the revisions they're making to the apprentice program. So I'll have him explain.
Thank you. So just following up on some of the things that you just heard, from particularly Scott about the one-stops, they're very important, they're very dedicated, and they do a great job. They also receive federal dollars for job training through workforce development boards, and we've been able to take advantage of that to start a new program called Opportunities Long Island, which is an apprenticeship preparation program, pre-apprenticeship program, which we think is a tool that we can use to change the discussion about development. I know you heard upstairs all the projects, every mayor, every supervisor's got a project in their town. And each one of them, they said, takes a very long time to get it going. Well, some of them are eventually going to get going, and a surprising number of these projects are rebuilding downtowns in areas that are predominantly minority areas and areas that have had economic challenges over the years. We have geared a program toward recruiting younger folks in that area to get into a pre-apprenticeship program to move them into long-term careers in the construction industry. Now, why do we want to do that? Well, we want to do those things because our construction unions do have people that get older, and there's a turnover. We need young people to come in and replenish the supply of labor. Secondly, these are folks who probably have not had that kind of outreach and opportunities to do that previously. And third, we want the community to be on our side about a basic concept, which is something that if you were upstairs in the morning session, Tony McEnone from Oyster Bay spoke about really eloquently, which is you want good jobs that provide long-term careers for people, and people in the community deserve to have it, just like other people do. So we've had the very first class get off the ground. It was a great success, and those young folks are moving into various unions in the building trades and are starting careers. We have another class starting at the end of January, and we're with a special focus on Huntington Station and Hempstead, but looking elsewhere as well. And I think we're doing well. But whether those projects start or not, the labor movement, building trades want to do their part to say, hey, we're on the side of the community. The community needs jobs. We need those opportunities. And this is what we're doing. So I ask all of you if you have recommendations of people who could do this kind of work or have an interest, let us know.
So Paul, I think there's a little bit of a myth on the technology side that technology is about efficiency and doing things maybe with less people to be more productive. So maybe that's a little bit of a myth because they think that less jobs may be more productive. And obviously all the programs that you have is the opposite. You want to bring more people into the industry, grow the industry. So what do you see? What are some of the things that you do to kind of contradict the myth?
Sure. So the myth is that technology takes jobs away, and it's really not true. Most of the tech companies that are our members, and we have about 800 member companies, are looking to employ more people and can't find enough people to do the work. One of the things I always go and tell these companies is you have to invest in young people and training them, and you have to invest in your existing people and training them to do these jobs. Now, one of the nice things that technology enjoys is we have a higher than average median salary or average salary. And for every job in the technology or innovation economy, that job ends up creating 5 other jobs supporting that person. So that person's going out to eat, that person's looking for a home, that company's looking for office space. So it really does fuel job growth. The other thing is it helps keep our young people here because these people are coming out of college and starting companies, and eventually they'll grow and hire people. We have 2 young gentlemen that just graduated from Hofstra University They started a company while they were in school. They took an office in Mineola Launchpad, which is a tech incubator that we work with. And now they've hired 2 people, so that company's going to grow. And we're working on mentoring them and helping them grow that company, create jobs, hopefully stay on Long Island and contribute to the economy.
So James, one of the things is everybody's working on the second rail. And we know how that's going to be beneficial to the commuters having a second railway. But for you, from the freight side of things, how do you see that being able to increase job production?
I appreciate the question. I'm going to answer that one, and then I'm going to key off a couple of things that these other gentlemen said after that's over. We have obviously a finite amount of time that we can serve a customer. We don't want to interrupt any commuter service. In fact, if you have heard of it's probably because there's been a couple situations where we did impede the commuter traffic. So one thing that it does is it gives us an outlet. If we do have an issue, it allows Long Island Railroad to route around us, and I doubt that is going to be an issue very often because we make a concerted effort not to impede you. But there are some side benefits of them installing that second track in that there is going to be a realignment of some of the existing customer tracks. So they're going to realize upgrades that are going to allow them to handle more carloads and more product a little bit easier. And that will again support the construction industry. Most of what I'm talking about today is the construction industry, be it aggregate or steel or lumber or even the outbound byproducts of what the construction industry is. And we're excited about it. We've been hopeful in developing the plan with the Long Island Railroad, and they've been very supportive of us. I do want to comment on that they are a great proponent of us, and we have a great relationship. A couple things that you said, both Roger and Paul indicated that sometimes you have, and correct me if I'm wrong, struggling. This is what Scott does for a living, right? Sometimes we have problems finding people that have the right skill set to do the jobs that we need to do. And maybe some of that is because of the perception that nobody wants to live on Long Island, and that keeps people from moving here. I know I heard that a lot when I moved here. Why would you move to Long Island? It's too expensive, it's too crowded, so on and so forth. We need to advocate better for the things that it has, and I like to do that. Again, since I'm not a local, I like to tell people I can be at one beach in 15 minutes, and I can be at another beach in 15 minutes. Show me anywhere else in the United States I can do that, and have those seasons that we have, the opportunities that we have. We'll be in Manhattan now, right? So I'm preaching to the choir, I know. But one of the focuses that we're using right now, as Scott mentioned, job bank. We have to hire and retain better talent. Our attrition rate for a conductor and an engineer, which has historically been a blue-collar job. Everybody thinks of a conductor and an engineer as a guy with a fusee or a lamp telling the train to go back and forth. It has rapidly become a white-collar job. We are seeking people with post-secondary education due to the amount of memorization and studying that's required to pass along the railroad rules. And recently I've been tasked with the hiring process. Again, so our attrition rate is almost 50%. We hire a class of 10 students. We have 5 at the end of the class because either they've given up or they've not been able to test out through the different phases. We posted an ad on the job bank maybe 2 months ago, and I got a personal assistant, I don't know if that's a personal attendant, that contacted me, gave me some advice on what information I should put on there. And we're making a push toward veterans and, again, people with a post-secondary education. And it's been very successful. The quality of the candidates that have come through that forum have been greatly improved over what we were doing just by this approach. So if anybody isn't using that or looking for somebody, please do try it. I'm here to attest that it's been very beneficial for us.
So, since one of the things that I think everybody brought up was high-paying jobs, one of the things that's been, whether it's in the newspapers, we've discussed a whole lot, is the increase of minimum wage to possibly $15. So, since we have you as the Department of Labor, I thought maybe you could just, what thoughts are, and we were talking a little bit about all the research that's been done and the impacts that it's going to have. You know, there's some people that say that it's going, companies are going to have to let a certain amount of people go because of the increase that. And there's other experts that say that will not happen, and it's going to enhance the community here in the whole state. So, what are your thoughts on what are you doing?
So we are, the Governor's Administration and the Department of Labor is ardent supporters of increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, the minimum wage first came up in the 1930s, and with every single increase, there has been business associations and communities throughout the entire country that have gone up and opposed it on the same principle. which is that by increasing the minimum wage, you will have a net negative impact on the economy by losing jobs. And every single time there has been economists that have debunked that theory. Economists, not just members of labor, not just members of academia, not just members of government, but economists who PhDs who are dedicated to studying the impact and the statistical relevance of unemployment as it relates to increasing the minimum wage. The reality is the U.S. economy and New York is largely dependent on consumer spending. 70% of the U.S. economy is consumer spending. If you truly want to stimulate the economy, you give money directly to the lowest earners and the middle class, and you strengthen those two divisions of the workforce. Because these people do not save their money. You increase their consumer buying power, and they spend the money. They spend it at the mom and pop shops in their downtowns, they spend it at the many retail outlets in your community, and they support their families. And right now, I don't have to tell each of you, but making less than $19,000 a year, which is a $9 minimum wage in New York State, higher than the $7.25 minimum wage in the federal government sets. Making less than $19,000 a year is not enough to meet the basic living costs, not just on Long Island, but in New York State. So by increasing it to a $15 minimum wage, which is slightly over, I believe, $31,000 a year, we are lifting people out of poverty, and we are also letting them meet the basic living costs that are required and just achieve an adequate standard of living. We believe that this will be a net positive to the economy. We believe that it will increase consumer spending. And in a county where we are singularly dependent on sales tax revenues to fund the myriad of services the county offers, we believe that this will be a boom on both the municipal side and in the private sector side. And not just to mention, if you increase the salary of your employees, if you're a small business owner, not only are you increasing productivity, but you're decreasing turnover by very, very large scales.
Great information. So we go to some questions. Maybe we have any questions for them? Okay. So just some closing remarks, and if anybody wants to just kind of wrap some things up and talk. And then,
I just wanted to say what Scott summed it up great, what the purpose of it is, and I'm seeing our Nassau County Comptroller, George Maragos, out of the corner of my eye, and it's been recognized in Nassau County, as in Suffolk, that a sustainable living wage is necessary for the economic health of the entire county, not just for people to get the money. And they've done a very good job of enforcing that and recognizing that if people are going to do business with the county, they need to pay a living wage. And that's the theory behind what we're doing with the minimum wage. We have a fairly strong labor movement in this part of the country, but in other parts of the country, it's dwindling because it's been attacked. And raising the minimum wage has now become the best way to keep up that purchasing power, which isn't really, you're right, 70% of our economy, it's really that way nationally. But we are a consumer-oriented country, and we need that kind of boost to keep us in business. We did a video for Opportunities Long Island. We have Teresa Rignanti on the video talking about how important it is for a family of four to make about $80,000 or $90,000, and anything other than that strains the kind of system of public support that we have. And so that the jobs that can bring decent pay and benefits are ones that make us stronger. Those that don't, that are kind of one-shot jobs at $12 an hour at best, those are the kind that weaken us in the infrastructure of our economy. So that's kind of the philosophy behind the minimum wage on the one hand, unionization on the other, and bringing people greater opportunities for careers.
So, following along with the same theme, besides working for ListNet, I do my own consulting. And I'm always amazed that companies don't realize that, employees are their most valuable assets and that they should invest in them. And a good example is in the tech industry, a lot of people use recruiters, and a recruiter usually charges 20% of someone's salary. So let's say for a web developer, person might make $80,000 a year, and they might pay a recruiter $16,000 to find that person. There's companies that'll train people in 12 weeks to do some of this work, and that costs $12,000. But most companies won't realize, let me send one of my existing people to this training, it only costs me $12,000. They'd rather just go and find someone that can already do that work and pay even more to do so. So we have the capability of doing this and building up the people we have and making them successful and really making them more excited to the company. I mean, if you're working for a company and they say, hey Paul, guess what, we're going to send you for this training and you're going to do better, and because of that you're going to be able to make more money. Well, the employee benefits and the company benefits. And one of the things I'm proud of in the tech industry, we need to do a better job with some things, but we have high average salaries, and those companies make a lot of money, and the employees are happy, and it's a very successful industry. You look at companies like Google that really do stuff for their employees, they end up making a lot of money. So I think the same thing can happen.
So the topic was job development. You just put headhunters out of business. So, no, but great point, and it really goes a long way.
I'm just going to do one more plug for freight railroading. It's not as sexy as a lot of these things are, but our average conductor or engineer makes about $90,000 a year. It is a career. It's one that I've spent 18 years in, and I'm not smart enough to do anything else, so I'll probably spend another 20. It is a great industry. I'd like you to know that it is the backbone, can be the backbone of Long Island. We appreciate the support of the other industries that are supporting us, and we will continue to build our job. We want to expand. We talked about the second track. We want to bring more customers on. We want to help people get their goods. We are going to continue to participate in the job development all around. I'm going to do it personally as well as professionally.
No, Joe, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. This is a great panel that was put together. You did a good job. Thank you, George. I just encourage everybody, the site that I mentioned before, the New York State Jobs Bank, the website, the URL is jobs.us.ny. Take a look at it if you have a chance. And if you stick around, I will be here. If you want to get my card so you can reach me directly, I'll give you both my cell phone number and my landline number. I think that there were a lot of encouraging signs when you look at the status of the Long Island economy and New York's economy. I think that there are some challenges, but I think that they are hurdles that we can definitely jump over. And I think that we have the intellectual capital here on Long Island where we can kind of bridge some of these divides that exist and close some of these chasms. But I think that if we're able to lower, we certainly have a lot of talent, but I think that we need to recognize that we have an aging workforce here on Long Island, and we have to do everything in our capacity, make sure we create the environment necessary to support a burgeoning workforce so we can fill some of these skilled positions moving forward.
Hello, Maria. I just want to make a comment as it relates to this forum. Even though we have different breakout sessions, I don't think that any of the topics are mutually exclusive. We're here to benefit Long Island, and for the purpose of this discussion, it's employment. But as it relates to the New York and Atlantic Railway, I don't live in Long Island. I'm a city girl, grew up in Brooklyn. I've listened to TOD talk, which I love the fact that there's a name for it now because I had the subway practically going through my apartment as a kid. I'm all for it, big proponent of mass transit. I think what we have to do, and I think Scott could kick this up in Albany, is we got to change the culture out here in Long Island. You have to. You've got to get on not changing the way of life. I don't mean to make it the sixth borough, but why not give students a discount Metro Park, but a Long Island Railroad pass? I don't understand this. Kids should not be paying $25 to get into the city. Maybe they have a homework assignment to go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art to do something. It's ridiculous. The train is running. It's one cost to run the train, no matter how many people get on the train. But to your point, and to everyone's point about employment, if you generate demand, you're going to need to run more trains, We're going to hire more engineers. It just makes sense. So, you know, all these issues don't exist in a vacuum. They're all symbiotic, if you will. So that's what I want to say. I've never had an opportunity to say this in a forum that would have the train. The train needs to leave the station. So thank you.
Great. Any other questions, comments? I want to thank our panel for you know, giving us advice and giving us leadership on all the things that you guys are doing and helping the job development. And they'll be up here if you guys have any questions. Feel free to speak with them. Thanks.